only thing that has me scared. Hey everybody, hope you had a great trading day. Today was a fun one to say the least. With Jay Powell coming out, saying what he said, it's rather bullish and the market responded to it. Now, tomorrow we have GDP and that could change things a little bit. I think he could have been a little clearer there. You have some action going on after hours. Let's get rid of these lines. As always, subscribe to this channel and click all notifications because what we go over here is extremely timely. But you have a little bit of a battle going on right here, right now in Meta. Now let's just take a look at this even actually on an even smaller scale. Let's look at this on a 1 minute and you can kind of see what's going on here. So right now you're battling VWAP and I just want to point that out why it's going on. Whether or not you do this trade or don't do this trade, that's up to you. The decline in quarterly revenue from 30 billion to 26 billion for next quarter is a disaster, in my opinion. When you start having declining sequential growth and your model becomes, oh, the stock is cheap, I've seen this story. It does not end well. So I'm fully expecting this to come back in. Now, whether or not you play it or don't, that's up to you. In the trading room, we just shorted it. I'll show you exactly where. And now let me do this on a 1 minute. It'll be cleaner. And then if it gets back there today, if it's something that you want to do, you at least know how to do this for next time. So essentially, when you start looking at where these stocks close, what you do is you use the close on where they are. So here was the actual close on the stock. Looks like it was 169.34. And so you go back to this 1 minute and then you click on pre and post data and it'll show you how you bonked right there, right? So right there you have your reversal. Now you just simply use this right here, let it trade up a little bit, get close to that level, and you put it on at 168.50, you take a shot, is what you're doing because your risk is about $1, right? So you take that shot and then it comes back down here and now you're up about $2 on it. You can scale out of it or close the whole thing or move your stop to break even, whatever you want to do, just protect your capital. And the way it's holding VWAP, we're going to wait and see what happens with the call. I plan on keeping short this. I think it was just an outright disaster. Speaking of disasters, TDOC was just an outright disaster. You can see how it's breaking here. I mean, they basically wrote off $20 a share again this quarter. I don't know how many quarters they're going to be able to do this and still be around. So you can't keep losing money like that. At the end of the day, yes, I understand it's write-offs of companies that you own, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to pay. Someone's not going to buy your bonds. So it doesn't really seem to, it was straight down with the stock, but I don't know why it's just not an utter free fall. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this get worse. I understand this is really bad coming from 42 to 37, but when you look at it from this perspective, let me just put this and get rid of all these indicators. And let's get rid of all this data, right? And let's just remember, this is where we missed and lost $17 last time. So you're telling me over the quarter, we lost another $20 a share and the stock's going to be higher? It doesn't make any sense. So I think this is just a matter of time before this breaks down and could possibly get even worse. Get that back down to this 27, 28. So I am shorting this after hours. It's one I'm definitely looking at. I am surprised that you're not seeing Lamb up a little bit more. You're at 478 versus 467. They had an excellent quarter. And I think it notes to point this out. Stay to the end because I'm going to do the indexes. It's really important what happened today. But I think it's really important to note this is setting up to break out. So we can say whatever we want. I can sit here and look at Meta and say it's bad, short it. But at the end of the day, if they're going to go higher, they're going to go higher. Later, we'll find a reason as to why that took place or why that transpired. Right now, the only thing that we know is that this is pushing. And if you take a look at Texas Instruments today, that was a great quarter. And the stock responded favorably to that quarter by breaking out. There's no reason that this can't push up to that 178 level. My biggest issue with early adding here is GDP tomorrow, and we just don't know what we're getting. And frankly, I didn't know what we were getting with Meta. To me, Meta is an absolute disaster, but they've created some new metrics showing how much people are using them. Everyone all over the world is plugging into it. That's great, but you need to make money and you need to keep them. And you're not doing that. You're sequentially losing, 10% a quarter. How long are you going to do that? And we're going to call it a value stock. So at some point, I do think this comes in, but I would focus on those names. I do want to walk through this because this is really important to me for people to get this, especially people that were in the trading room today. Let me just walk you through this so you can understand what we did. It's pretty important for me for people to kind of get this. So what I was looking for today was we were going into the Fed call. So I'm watching this, and you can kind of see how this is trying to form a double bottom, and you can see this level right here, and you can see where we're at. And what we're going to do here is I'm just going to throw in a really quick indicator of VWAP. And I just want you to look at something here. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for any indication that I might be going the right way. This divergence kind of meets that, so it's not really a positive divergence, but you can see how we're holding RSI. So what I'm always trying to do, and what you should always be doing as a trader, most people will look at percentages. That's fine as long as you convert them to risk versus reward, and you look at the, are you making 2 times your risk, 3 times your risk? Focus on that. It's a big deal, and that's what professional traders focus on. If you ask any professional trader, they can tell you what their risk return ratio is. So if you look at this level right here, you can see that that's a doji. Dojis are what? That's where you change direction and decision. What happened there? That's where somebody said, I'll take everything you have, some algo, right? That's what that point is. So when we got back down and we tested this level, it gave us an entry. I think it was 29.45. So essentially we were in this for 10 or 15 cents. So what you're trying to do is find low risk entries, and that's what we did there. Now what you're going to wind up doing is seeing how this pops out, trades up, pops out, and all we're doing is just moving the stop up over and over again, listening to J Powell and making sure he doesn't, pull a J Powell. And then eventually, at the end of the day, I just kick it and I get out of it. But the point that I'm trying to get at is on 10 cents of risk or 15 cents of risk, at the end of the day, we made about 20 times our risk, which is way off the scale. If you're hitting 5 to 1, you're a beast. So, and this happens sometimes, you just get very fortunate. And that's really what it was. We were just trying to position for the news, thinking that this was going to continue to go. And it did exactly what we thought it was going to do. So I think that's important to think about and recognize. And that's why I want to point that out. What do you do now with TQQ? Look, this is setting up to go, and that's why I'm showing it besides that trade. And you might want to watch that part of the trade again, or the video again. I know some people go back and actually take notes when we do this. It's probably not a bad idea. So I try to make these informational and educational as well as give you ideas for tomorrow. But look at that level. I mean, forget that it's the NASDAQ, right? Just say it's ABC. You're not going to buy that. I mean, you're not going to want to be in that. So I think you'd want to take a look at this and possibly be getting in that. I think that you might want to consider using this. I'll give you a level of 31.53 as a level that might be really interesting, right? So I would suggest that maybe you look at that level and look at this trade tomorrow. It's really going to be dependent on GDP. But if GDP is awful and we break down and we rip, right, you're going to want to be involved. Just like we got involved today, Tesla. This was simple, right? And you can see it breaking out. Okay, you can just see these reversals, right? We had people in the room trading it here. For me, this was it. That little break right there, went long. Came back down here, dealt with this nonsense, went long, bought calls, 820s, did fairly well with them. But I closed it, just being blunt, because I don't know what GDP is tomorrow. And if you notice what's coming in, the technicals don't matter right now. The data is what's driving the market. Down 4% or down 2% the other day. What's the Qs up today? Up 4%. We could be down 3% tomorrow. So, I mean, until this stops being bipolar, my advice is to lock things in. But look for trades. There's still a trade here. This is not over. And I'm going to show you one more that's not over. That was a great trade today. When you're in an environment like this, noise, media attention gets exacerbated, right? But you see this right here? 1, 2, 3, flip. This is day one of a bullish, right? Homing pigeon. This is day one. So when you see things like this, you want to pay attention. Again, I'll say it. This is day one. This is coming from somebody that was short here and using this as a target. You're flipping. So as you flip, you want to be involved, all right? And you want to see it push. That's what you want to do. And I think that if you hit a higher high tomorrow, you should be all over it. I'll give you one more that we did. And then I'm going to go through the indexes really quickly and just show you what the SPY did that's very impressive. So you see this line right here on V? Right, you can just see how you're just hanging right in there. See this break? So this is when they came out and said what? They came out and said, oh, we're going to go after the credit card business and fees. And then you found out it's basically like 2 guys that are doing it. So this RSI video for the 1,000th time, for those that are new, please watch this RSI video. Please subscribe to the channel. Click all notifications as well. What we go over is timely. And I don't run ads. So if you could do me a favor and share this on your social media, I would greatly appreciate it. I want to get the channel bigger and I want to have people support the channel, unless you don't find value in it. But if you're watching, you must see something you like. Anyway, you see this level right here? So you can see how this is a positive RSI. I bought this, traded it out when it kind of got up here, Dojis are what? Okay, they are points of uncertainty. I broke. That's enough. Okay. I didn't make anywhere near what I wanted. I pulled out like $1 and change after slippage. But it gave us another opportunity right here. How do we know that's an opportunity? Because this is a positive divergence. We flipped, we went higher. So these turned and ran, and this had excellent earnings. So you're through earnings and you can see what's going on here. And this is exactly the type of name that you want to focus on. So this is the kind of name that I tend to focus on. But if you can get up over this longer term tomorrow, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen in a day, but let's say tomorrow it does. If you can get over this 218, put this on your radar. And I don't want to hold you very long because I know you had a long trading day, but I do want everyone to see this because this is significant. This is probably the most significant thing that I'm going to show you because it's always red. I don't know why you'd want another color. So here, look, what did the SPY do today? We were going to break. Right? We didn't break. We were under the 50. We flipped and we took out a higher high. There's no conversation about which way we're going. The only thing that has me scared, is the GDP tomorrow. That's why I'm not long. If the GDP was not tomorrow and I knew Meta was going to pull a Meta, but I didn't know that it was going to be that muted, I would have stayed long a lot more. But knowing what I know now, if after GDP, look at that. And it's all over. It's every sector that you're seeing. Now, energy is something that don't rule it out. You just popped over this 50. It's getting ready to start participating again. Okay? Don't rule this out. I'm starting to build energy positions again, and I will go over that tomorrow. Try to tune into the live streams. If you don't see them, we do them 8:30 in the morning to 9:15 where I take Q&A and questions. Tomorrow we'll be going over GDP. That'll be fun. And the trading room is open for enrollment for the next 3 days, and there'll be a link in the top right if you want to take a look at it and join. That's it. That's all I have. Everybody have a great day. I hope you had an awesome trading day. It was a lot of fun, and I will talk to you tomorrow.